Welcome to CDL Game Day presented by Game Fuel. It is time for our home series final. Maven here with Merc and Nameless, and we've got a doozy. Maybe not the final everybody expected, but it should be a riveting one nonetheless. What was so exciting about this weekend going into the Chicago home series event is we knew the three top teams in the world were here. We thought more than likely somebody was finally going to be a two-time champion, and no matter the result, that is going to be the case. Nameless, I kind of want to hear from you, just thinking about this revenge tour for Empire, because they couldn't get past Huntsmen. They couldn't get past FaZe. One step is done. FaZe are up next.
Yeah, it's been incredible for Empire since they've won the Los Angeles tournament. You saw Shotzi came alive. He was one of the best players in the world, and he's continued to be great. But in that last series, what we've been waiting for was Illy to wake up and go off, and he did it, man. You saw that in the Search and Destroy. You saw it in the Hardpoint. I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts on the games, though, because I've been up here yapping about it. What did you guys think about that last performance?
It was incredibly impressive from Empire. Shotzi for me just continues to get better and better and better. And Joe and I have talked at length about how that land win had to do miracles for his confidence, even though he was already frying online. Joe, he seems to be becoming kind of the complete player.
Yeah, I just think it's one of those things. We talked a lot about his roles, and they just felt like they had to free him up a little bit, and that's exactly what happened. Ever since that point, doesn't matter if it's online or at LAN, they have been playing so much better, and that was a big one, I think, for us, because when you saw this event in the two groups, for Dallas, it was, if you don't get out of groups, it's going to be an extremely disappointing weekend. They're able to get out. They take care of business. Then after that, it was just sort of, can you beat Chicago? Can you beat Atlanta? Because those were the two teams that they've just had so much trouble with, right? Chicago owned them multiple times already. Atlanta as well, just back in the LA home series. So as we sort of talk about it, Dallas, they just continue to improve, and I think that 3-0 right there just showed it.
Well, the two times that we saw, Dallas versus FaZe, it's back in Minnesota, then back at LA, as you mentioned. Both were 3-0s for FaZe. The second one, I believe, a little bit closer. It was like a 10-point hardpoint, 10-point dom, and a 6-3 surge. So it was a bit closer for sure, but how do they avoid getting 3-0'd again?
Well, they had a big lead last time that they played FaZe on the first hardpoint. They end up choking that on St. Petro hardpoint. So it's close it out in the final moments. And if you look back to that series, there were some players that were underperforming. Illy had a .75 against FaZe, so typically he struggles against them, especially in the respawns. But if you look at them today, he's been absolutely fantastic. And also on the flip side of that, FaZe have been lazy in hardpoint in some of their series. I keep going back to the New York series where they were extremely lazy and they were getting absolutely destroyed. So Empire are looking good right now. They beat Chicago, the team that has had their number, so the confidence is there. This series could potentially be theirs.
Yeah, the scary part, though, we talk a lot about Dallas, but who they have to go through is Simp. The guy dropped the 50-bomb map 1, beating his own record that he set earlier this weekend. He might be the best player in the game. He's an absolute monster since starting his career last year. Let's take a closer look at Simp.
Scene Simp, take 1, city mark.
Simp's disgusting.
He's going to be a superstar. No one can stop Simp.
He's going to be considered one of the best to ever play Call of Duty once he's done.
Do it! Blow him out of the map! What a play from Simp! Simp is a god among men right now.
My name is Chris Lair, aka Simp. I'm from Long Island, New York, and I'm a part of Atlanta FaZe. I originally started in Variant before the age roll. When I decided to finally take it serious in Black Ops 3, that's when the 18+ rule finally came out, and so I was kind of forced to streaming in S&D.
Everyone sort of knew he was the next big thing. It was just a matter of waiting till he was 18.
Even when he was 15 years old competing, I noticed him almost immediately.
I've had so much time to be able to perfect certain things that I just stand out a little more than everyone else.
Simp making the plays.
Simp got really fortunate that he was picked up by United and he was taken in by these great veteran leaders.
I convinced United to put him on their academy team for a year. We were able to plug him into the roster, and then we saw immediate success from there.
United are your 2019 Pro League champs.
It was always a dream of mine to compete and to win champs is something insane. When United broke up, I think a lot of emotions went through my head. But at the same time, it was okay, I'm ready for a new team and a new experience. So I was kind of excited to move on.
He has the composure of a veteran, somebody who's been around the block forever. He never lets anything rattle him. He never lets anything get to him. And normally those aren't things you attribute to such a young player.
I have my own moments of popping off, and then I have my moments of where I'll help other teammates do, and I'll set them all up.
I don't think anyone thought he would come in and be not only the Rookie of the Year, but you could debate the best player of the year.
He's not an 18-year-old. He's very experienced. He wanted to be the best in the game, and pretty much his goal set.
I knew this guy was going to be a force.
To an extent, there's a target on my back, so I think, yeah, a couple players want to take me down.
If I was 18 again, oh, I'd be putting him in the dirt.
You don't leave me and expect to beat me later on. You're getting smoked, buddy.
Simp with the shot.
Hearing the fans and the players say that I'm one of the best of all time is something crazy. I've only competed for a year, and I still think that I get to prove that I'm one of the best, but I plan on doing it with time.
We'll take a look at how the Atlanta FaZe got to this home series final, but Joe, Simp is special. Very rarely do we see somebody come on the scene and dominate the way he has. Who's done it like him in the past?
I mean, I can only think of like a few people. Scum, Formal. Kenny for a year in World War II. Yeah, like it's slim pickings. But for Atlanta FaZe, you know, they beat, the London Royal Ravens, a very close 3-0. They go to a Game 5 this weekend. They have been tested, so I'm excited for this final.
All right, well, let's talk about the other side of this for the Dallas Empire. I want to kind of talk about Crim6. We just saw the interview, obviously, with Rich. We know he is a comedian. He's one of my favorite players because of the personality he brings to this. And I think
Rich.
He's got one of the best. He's got one of the best personalities in the league. It's one of the strongest things about Call of Duty, which I love. But Ange, how important is Crim6 to this Empire team?
Massively important, right? Like, he has a chip on his shoulder. He was one of the first players when they were thinking about making this roster, how it was going to be put together. He's that player that Shotzi, Illy, and Hook looked to help them learn how to become a championship player. You know, him and Clay have played together for a very long time, and they've gotten to a lot of finals, and they've won a lot of those. So, they're the two leaders on this squad, and Crim is sort of the spokesman for the Empire, as you can see in all these interviews. And he's going to bring that hype. He's going to bring that experience, and he's the GOAT for a reason. He brings a lot to the squad.
Joe, what do you think it's like for him now? Like you've been at that point of your career where you've been competing for a long time. You've been considered one of the top players in the game, and now you're kind of surrounded by younger players. It's just like a different point in his career. What do you think it's like for Crim right now at this stage?
I mean, listen, I feel like people, he sort of talked about it in the interview. People keep giving him fire. I think him not, being on the old OpTic squad, right, and not getting picked up to be on Chicago, right, the rosters, the way they split apart, the way they separated, that just fired him up even more. And then you have like these, he's an onliner, or like what he said in that interview, like, I have won the most on land. Like, nobody has more championships than me, and I will continue to keep winning just to shut you all up. And that's just the fire. And I think for him now, it's just to continue to try to do that. And like Ann said, I think it's about him being more of a leader now for the younger guys on his team. But I mean, look at his stats. The guy continues to bring it in their biggest series. So I think for Crim, maybe a bit of a, he's not the superstar on his squad per se, but he doesn't need to be. And he's, again, he just continues to prove everybody wrong time and time again. I just don't get why they keep questioning him.
And do you think that fire, like with people doubting him, is really important just because he's at this stage of his career where he's seen it all, he's won it all? Not that Crim is necessarily a person that lacks motivation, but that added fire from the community, you think that's a big deal?
Well, for a lot of players, I would probably say no, but for Crim, absolutely. I think that stuff does get to him, man. I think it does. I think the situation where he split from his former, OpTic teammates, I think he felt like he was disrespected a little bit in that situation, and then also by the community and by the fans that he played for a very long time. He feels like a lot of those fans have turned on him and now are coming at him all the time when he brought them a ton of championships. So, you got to kind of feel for the guy at times, and that's why he gets so worked up and he's so passionate about the game and about his teams. And you could see it in their gameplay, how they're improving at such a fast rate, and they get their championship, and now they get over the hump. It's just constant improvement, and you can't deny the greatness that is Crim6.
Well, speaking of the greatness that is Crim6, let's take a closer look at Crim.
I wouldn't regard myself as a legend.
Crim snaps for the streaks.
Crim's like a robot.
Gives him a bit of a haircut, but then he snaps.
He's the winningest player of all time.
This guy has 33 plus championships.
I'd rate Crim number 1.
Crim with 3 in a row. The best to ever do it. And now Crim's on an 8 streak.
Undisputed best player of all time.
Who? Crim what? Crim 6? Who?
Crim 6, half the front unlocked. TP watching the flank. One go, wait on, Crim is gonna do it!
Starting out, Crim 6 was the young gun who didn't call out too much and was just destroying everybody in gunfights.
The MLG Spring Champions Complexity!
A lot of people don't know this, but we actually teamed together on a game battles team in like 2008. His name wasn't even Crim 6 yet. It was something like Eclipse or something like that.
I was just like another guy on the team, but I think we went like 161-0. That was like the moment where I was like, this is a lot of fun, I'm really good at it.
The man who has more victories than any player in Call of Duty history. Here is Crim 6!
Crim 6 has been sort of the model of perfection when it comes to a Call of Duty competitor.
He never wanted to like take a day off, and if you don't try your ass off, he's gonna yell at you.
He's a character.
Cap, I'm never gonna unblock you on Twitter, ever.
I'm gonna drop this right here for Crim. We'll be back.
Crim is one of those players that honestly is just a very intelligent player.
I think in Call of Duty, there's a way to play to win.
He's good, obviously, but he always has moments where it's just, holy shit, he just did that.
Oh my God, he gets it off. Can he get away with his life? Oh, no! It's Crim 6 that makes the play!
However, can he keep that run going on Modern Warfare is going to be the most interesting thing.
I'm sure he thinks he still has it in him, which, I mean, I think he does.
I look at how I can keep going. I don't want to stop.
You can't pick a better player to have in your roster.
I've been trying to get back team with Crim for a while now, and you know, it never actually came to fruition until this Dallas Empire roster.
We have ourselves a new champ, the Dallas Empire, the victors!
We've seen him alongside that OpTic Gaming lineup for years and years and years. How's he going to fare on a brand new team with brand new players?
I just view him more as like this mentor now. Like with the wealth of talent on that team, he needs to keep them in line. And they've got a chance to really do some insane things this year.
Is this a fresh beginning or is this a slow fizzle out? The end of the career? I don't know.
Do I personally think he has the most to prove of all players? No. But do I think Crim feels that way? I sure as hell do. I think he is going to be hungrier than we've seen him possibly ever in his entire career.
Welcome back to CDL Game Day presented by GameFuel. We took a closer look at Simp, a closer look at Crim 6, and it's interesting to kind of compare the two because obviously they're at very different stages of their career. There's no argument really for me that Crim is not the GOAT. I mean, he's the greatest of all time. He has the most LAN wins, but it's going to be fun to watch somebody like, you know, Simp's career, Beezy's career, and see where they end up. It's just unfortunate we can't really have a talk about GOAT status for another 5+ years probably for these guys, but Crim's so important to Empire. Joe, I'm just curious, like, realistically, how good of a chance do you give them as final, considering the fact they were 3-0 bop the last 2 times?
I just think if you look at like their improvement from the LA home series, I think after that FaZe match is probably when they probably made that role switch for Shotzzy, allowed him to sort of free up, get comfortable. Feels like ever since that weekend, something clicked a little bit differently. I know just a few weeks ago, you know, they get taken down in a semifinal, but it just feels like their confidence is there. And I think that just is so important because there was all this talk about them and they were losing to those top teams. So I give them a very good chance because I feel like things are flowing right now. They just take down Chicago, one of their kryptonites, in a 3-0 fashion, by the way, right?
Sure.
It's not like that was a close series per se. I mean, they just dominated it comfortably.
And we're just waiting for these guys to get ready, I think. So hopefully we'll be into the match soon, everybody.
To echo what Joe was saying about Empire, stylistically, these teams are kind of the same. Like they're really good at search and destroy. It just felt like FaZe was a better version of Empire in all 3 of the game modes. But now that Shotzzy and Illy have gotten a little bit better, and you see, you know, Crim and Clay performing better online as well, it seems like it's a level playing field. It's like going into this series, I do think Empire have a great chance, especially coming off of that huge win with all that confidence and momentum. Like, they can actually win this. So it's honestly a toss up for me going into the day. We were talking about predictions, and I was saying FaZe was going to win the whole thing, but now after seeing that 3-0 and the way that they just did it, it's a toss up.
Well, what do you think is the most important
matchup
for this? Sorry, Joe. No, go ahead, Joe.
No, I just think it's one of those things too, where like you're Dallas and you've seen teams like take FaZe the distance. That helps you. It's not like FaZe is 3-0, 3-0ing everyone, just like absolutely destroying them. Yeah, Sim's putting up crazy numbers, but those maps are still close. It just feels like everybody has caught up. People know how to play the game. It comes down to one or two, like, simple mistakes that you hopefully don't make. If you're able to play your game and slay with them, you're right into it. I think that's what this weekend has shown.
Okay. All right. Well, and we know like how important team matchups are. Like we've seen a lot of variety this year, and with some of the upsets especially. But like when you think about SMG versus SMG, Flex versus Flex, AR versus AR, is part of that, I don't know, lopsided or most important in this series for you?
I think the duo of Crim and Clay are probably going to be the most important in this series. Just that AR presence. We know that we've seen Celium going off with an AR. We've seen Major Maniac, doing his thing with an AR. I think that the subs will all be on point. They'll be hyper aggressive. They'll be getting their kills. Ilya and Shotzi have progressed to a point where I think they're going to be fine. I really think that it's on Crim and Clay, one of them, to have a crazy finals performance to win the series.
Joe, do you think the fact that we talked about roles and the fact that Empire now finally seem to be getting comfortable over the past couple months since that change between Hook and Shotzi, do you think the fact that on the FaZe side they recently made that role swap might be an opening for Empire here, or not that big of a deal?
I don't think it's that big of a deal based on what we've seen, right? The reason they've made that role change is because they did notice that teams caught up to them, right? So they're trying to get ahead once again. So for Major Maniac, I think he's still in a very comfortable role. He can sort of do it all. I don't think it's a problem putting Celium on man AR all the time. I mean, they truly believe that he's the best AR in the world, and I think at times he has absolutely shown that. So I think Ant is right. If the Dallas Empire want to compete in this series, you do look at your two vets. You look at your two, world champions to help win this series.
Well, I heard that the reason that they did the AR switch is it's actually a pretty cool reason. Never seen it before in COD. Is like versus teams with a strong AR, they were going to have Celium run an AR, and versus teams with a weak AR, they were going to have Major Maniac be the main AR. So kind of an interesting way to go about things. And if it starts to work out, that could be deadly because Celium's a beast with any gun that he runs.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll see if that works out, but. I don't know. I hope this matchup is everything we want it to be. It's two of the top teams in the game. Both have a championship win. Who is going to get that second home series victory, I guess, is the biggest question for it. But I don't know. But guys, we are going to be heading to a quick break. We're just waiting for the players to get ready inside of the lobby, and then we'll be ready to go. Thank you for your patience. This is the home series final coming up after this quick break.
the US Army. What's your warrior? Tournament audio and team chat listen-ins are brought to you by Astro Gaming, the official headset and mix-amp of the Call of Duty League. Join the Astro family and pre-order the CDL A40TR headset and Pro Team speaker tags today at astrogaming.com. Call of Duty League is brought to you by Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, the official energy drink of the Call of Duty League.
Hello and welcome back to CDL Game Day presented by Game Fuel. And now, guys, as we wait for this match to get ready, as I hear we still have a little bit of time before the teams are ready to go, I have an important question for you. Because I know for me, the entire year, regardless of all the results that have gone down, FaZe has been the #1 team for me, even when they fell short. Is the winner of this the #1 team in the world, Joe?
I'm going to have to say yes. Unless this is like a super close Game 5 match where, you know, FaZe had a map win that they throw away. I don't really think there's an argument. I think if you look at Dallas's recent, they have a second, they have a first, a top 4, and then potentially another first here. I think the results are there for the Dallas Empire, and whether or not it's online or on land. So I'm going to say yes. Again, I think the only argument is that you can make it for Atlanta FaZe if it's some like crazy game that they throw away.
Ant, for you.
I completely agree. Both these teams 9-2 and 9-3 map count. They both gotten over humps and still made it to a final when they've had hiccups along the way. Like, that shows tenacity. And for me, I've had FaZe, like you said, as the best team of the season thus far. If Empire were to win this, you know, they would take over that crown for me, especially, you know, barring what Joe says, unless FaZe throw away a crazy loss in like back-to-back maps. This is definitely going to determine the best team in the game.
Yeah, I think if somehow they got to the final and they weren't going through FaZe, or they didn't have to go through Huntsmen, and let's just say they were the first team to second win, maybe I wasn't completely convinced. But the fact that if they are the first team to get the second win and they beat Huntsmen, and they beat FaZe.
Yeah, that wraps it up, right?
I feel like it has to. But as we wait for the players to get ready and the server to get rocking for our home series final, we're going to take a quick look at the top 10 plays from this year.
Seconds left. 6-point game. FaZe now being decapped. A huge 1v1's going to go down over towards C, but the kill feed is predominantly red. The decap towards B, but I think Florida realized they have to go. They have to push. They need to get everything. There's no time. There's no time at all left for Florida. And Atlanta FaZe defend their city.
Please give it up for your Atlanta champions!
They're able to find Arcides, so now it's all down to Gunless. He only needs to get a killer
too. He couldn't quite finish it. Did he hop off it? He did hop off it for a second, though. He's right back on it. Get up there. Go. He's got to go. He got to do it. Can he get there in time? Can he get there in time? I think he got it. Oh, he got the kill. I thought the defuse was in. He got the kill. Are you kidding me? What a play from Gunless.
But you see it there.
Oh my God. I thought so. I thought they lost. I 100% thought that Dallas got the win.
Close.
I thought they had the win.
Not for much longer. He was able to find one before he fell, and Arcides turns around and there's several Minnesota Rocket players flying right at him.
He is getting away all the information and the kills, and he gets the second on Assault Ben. Envoy has been a man among boys.
I cannot believe how easy he has made this look.
Gunless pushing up top with the M4, wins the opening fight.
Not quite sure how, I'm going to be honest, Chance, but Gunless levels the playing field 3v3. I can't believe it. Envoy, you've been a hero throughout the entire game. He's on the bomb. The defuse. Minnesota Rocket, you've got to check it. Full sale happens again. From 5-0 down. Chicago Huntsmen win 6 in a row. You don't see it very often, but welcome back to the Call of Duty League. I cannot believe we just witnessed that.
Assault is down. And with the deep views for Illy and the smile from Shotzi, we have ourselves a new champ. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Dallas Empire, the victors of your Los Angeles home series event.
How they played this weekend, honestly, it just goes to show the potential this team has. And like, this is their second COD tournament and we just won it. So that's a pretty good job.
That is pretty good.
The Huntsmen have pushed them out. They've managed to break the hard points for now, but you got to keep the spawners out from the back. Scumpy with the kills. They just keep on coming. Now the push from Florida. Envoy in the back. The shots are there, but they've got onto the point with that one. The Florida Mutineers have done it.
They had to go through Chicago both times to get here, and this time they might seal the deal right as they go to do it. The contest comes in, but now the victory lap. Florida Mutineers, your Dallas home series victors. They get it done, and what a performance it was from Florida, Joe.
Salium does not have bomb, and he's so loud too. I think the player that was up in the top window might be able to hear this. And even if he plants, it's going to be a quick gunfight from Assault up top.
You see him, and Salium escapes! Salium tagged up, one shot, has to scurry away. Swap got RX, both players, one shot, Assault, clip Salium, and that is all she wrote. Minnesota Rocker, you're heading to today's final.
A massive win for the Minnesota Rocker, who have been doubted effectively the entire year, exceeding everyone's expectations consistently.
Not a great performance from him.
I think we first pointed out he was like 2-10. He started. Alec Varsity still torching bodies as the final seconds tick away. That does it. Chicago Huntsmen are your winners at the London Home Series Final. It just feels like Huntsmen are a bit better right now. Yeah, but do you think this is going to be a battle we're watching all year? I sure as hell do. I sure as hell hope so.
Set up deep, connects on the shots. It's all to R-Cities to try and clutch. He can't do it! As Florida get the W, Pristini wins the battle versus brother, and there's the hype. Nothing but love between Pristini and R-Cities, but what a series. When you see their mom, like what a mix of emotions that's gotta be. Pristini versus R-Cities, a match for the ages.
They are going to be 5 seconds away from sending us to a map 5, but it comes down to 1 or 2 pushes. We know how hard it is to break this. Hook and Alien Shotzi, oh no, shutting it down. That's all 5 dead.
All dead.
Oh, the spawns.
They're not done yet though. One final push for one final contest. The tournament is decided here, and Illy's there up top. They got him out of the hard point. They might still be able to get in. They gotta fly. Go, go, go. Get in. They're able to get in. Everybody is into the point. 247. 247. It's madness inside. Rocker. They do it. They do it. They do it. It's Rocker with the win. It's map 5, baby.
What just happened? What was that ending?
It's Minnesota up in here.
Hello everyone and welcome to the brand new, fresh off the airship Call of Duty League. 12 teams from 11 cities have come to Minneapolis to begin their mission of hoisting the first ever CDL Championship trophy. From new teams with legacy players to new players joining legacy teams, they will battle it out 15 weekends for a chance to make history.
That was your top 10 plays of the year. We are now back with the CDL Game Day presented by Game Fuel, and from what I understand, we're 4 to 5 minutes out from gameplay, so we should be in this shortly, but it's going to be the home series final for Chicago. We've got your Atlanta FaZe going up against the Dallas Empire, and Joe, I am pumped for this. I hope this is a thrilling final.
Yeah, I think it should be. I'm looking at the maps right now that we're about to get. Both teams have a few maps that they are both very good at, right? I mean, you look at the domination. Looks like we're gonna go to Hackney Yard, for example. Atlanta 5-1 in that one. Dallas 8-3. So we know these are two of the best teams in the world. They're gonna have some great maps, some great map records. Can't wait to get into it.
Well, let's look at the game fuel keys to victory. We're gonna start with the Dallas Empire. Nameless, take me through it.
Yeah, so Illy to continue to go off, that's a big thing. But as well, we just talked about it a little bit ago, Crim and Clay, it's going to be those two guys that are going to be the X factor in this series. If they can go above and beyond and get back to, their prime years of playing and have a great final, this can be a good series for them. I'm looking at those two guys and as well as Illy to continue to play well.
Well, now, Nameless, let's look at the other side of this. For the Atlanta FaZe, the game fuel keys to victory.
It's pretty simple on their side. I think in that last series versus Surge, they lost that Search and Destroy, and it was a continuation of Abizi getting first blooded in Search and them playing from the back foot and having to clutch up in Search and Destroy. Don't just rely on your respawn. Get back to your roots in Search and Destroy. Abizi, slow it down, play with your team, and don't always rely on clutching up.
All right, well, we're now going to take a look at the Air Force Quick Scope as we get closer and closer to this home series final. These two teams have been very, very good as of late. I know Empire started out a little bit flat, but now both teams with that tournament win. We'll see, because I think both are pretty well-rounded. When you think about the different game modes in Hardpoint, Dom, Search, there's not like a glaring weakness for either team. Obviously, when you take a look at the numbers, FaZe have been better, but statistically with the KD, I think the thing that probably stands out the most, maybe the S&D. Is that the biggest place where FaZe can dominate this for you, Joe?
Dominate? That's a strong. I think we have two of the best Search and Destroy teams in the world here. Honestly, I really do. And again, just sort of looking at the maps we are about to play. You have Petro, where both teams really haven't played it that much. You have 1-1 for Atlanta, 1-0 for Dallas. Then we go to Gunrunner, where if we do go to map 5, Gunrunner, Search and Destroy, that is a big one for the Dallas Empire. They won that. They won the LA home series in a game 5 on that map. They are 6-1 on that map, but Atlanta FaZe on Gunrunner 3-0. So I would love to go to a game 5 because we potentially have the two best game 5 or S&D on Gunrunner teams in the world.
And
right
we
here.
just saw that from Empire too. Like Illy was going off, so like that would be lit. And I think it goes 5. So I think you might get what you want, Joe.
I would love that.
I would love that.
But it is now time to meet our teams. Let's first take a look at your Atlanta FaZe.
One, two, three for Major Maniac.
Lightning strikes twice. Abizi. He finds one. He finds 2.
What an individual play from Priest.
Atlanta FaZe, maybe the most dominant roster on paper, coming in at an average height of 5'2", but they have been just disgusting. They are terrifying to play on the map. Not really a weakness that we can find, but on the other side of it, you could maybe say the same. Let's take a look at your Dallas Empire.
Gilbert on the flank. It's going to be Clayster. And Clayster's going to get bumped. 4 going to drop 3. They're going to get the clear.
You gotta go fast. You gotta go quick. You gotta go that way out.
It's chaos.
And those are your Dallas Empire. Guys, we've basically covered it all. We've had about a half hour here as we wait for the teams to get ready. We've done the keys to victory. We've talked about Krem. We've talked about Simp. We've talked about the rosters. We talked about the maps and modes. We've covered everything at this point between these two teams. Joe, you got any final points regarding this hopefully amazing home series final?
I don't think so, man. I think we covered a lot of it. I think when you look at this Dallas Empire, roster, just from, we talked about, you got the vets, you got the young guys. I'm looking at Hook. I mean, I feel like Talk about X factors. Hook is a guy I think a lot of times goes under the radar. I think he could be the difference maker in this series for the Dallas Empire.
I'm looking at Twitter right now.
All right, well, we are getting ready to get into map 1. The fly-through is here. Ant, thanks for joining us. But, Joe, it is time to take the casting away. Let's get right into it. It's the home series final for Chicago. Let's go, Joe.
Yeah, Clint, you better bracket up, baby. Make sure to hit that bracket. We got to make sure the ops team hears us. I am so excited to get into this game.
Look bathrooms, by the way. Like,
you want me to look
Joe?
bathrooms?
Yeah, first
This
off,
is
I'm
going to
gonna
be
go
incredible.
water.
It's going to be incredible. But who? Am I hearing the players' voices right now? Are you hearing that?
It's smoked. I can't see shit.
I am.
Okay, well, production team, if you hear us for some reason in our program feed, we are hearing the players. So this will be interesting, Joe, but I'm sure they'll work to get that resolved as we get right into there. There we go. Okay, all right, that's a lot less chaotic. That was interesting to try and commentate as hearing all the player chatter, but a nice start from FaZe. They get rolling here, Joe.
Yeah, and Atlanta FaZe, they're starting on that stronger side, right? You see number 4, Major Maniac. He's going to play a little bit slow. Make sure his team has the spawn. Celium and Simp taking care of business middle of the map. This Dallas Empire, you want to get him off this hill, maybe try to earn some time. I mean, the goal would be to flip the spawns, but we know FaZe, they are a fundamental team, and I think with the role changes for Major Maniac, that's what he's going to be focusing on.
Well, it's Priest in through that mid cut that's able to take down 2 before he drops. Now right over to the other tiny tear, and Illy just smokes him. A BZ will drop, but the right side of the map still controlled by FaZe with 10 seconds remaining on the first hard point. How to Empire break this? Have you seen over the past couple months any new developments and teams getting better at breaking some of these money hills?
Well, I think the really what the goal is for this Dallas Empire team is to try to get into the hill and then go towards the back, and that's typically your best shot of breaking those spawns. Or Hook, he's just going to take down the whole team as he's able to find 3. And now this is what I'm talking about. As soon as they can get in, if they're able to find those kills, here comes out parallel spawns for the Atlanta FaZe. Celium and Priest, though, they go big inside of the hill, but it's Hook once again trying to stay alive for the Dallas Empire.
Yeah, those 3 entries for Hook, enough to get them some contest time, right? Then he follows it up with another lovely double to continue to get in. So there was not much time off that clock before the pressure was here from Empire, and the parallel spawns were there, as you said, but it was a 5 spree for Celium at 9 and 3 before he dropped. And now Empire will soak up the final 15 to 20 seconds. As you take a look at the left side of the map and we hop out to the sky cam, you can see everybody getting ready for minecarts.
And I'll tell you what, you asked me what do you want to do with that second hill? That's about as good as it gets, I think, when you don't have those close spawns. An excellent job by the Dallas Empire as they now are able to rotate. Celium trying to work towards this forest. Priesta, he was so sneaky yesterday on those searches. He's making the sneaky play right now. Him and Abizi able to take down 4. Simp to find the 5th. And now Celium has him trapped in the back.
How much damage can Celium do from this position? Because not only can he see that back spawn, he can also see the cross, but he's going to get dropped almost instantly as we take a look at his POV. Empire win the fights off spawn, and now get into the point to at least contest. There's a team kill through for Empire, but they're still here. Now back to Celium's POV off a spawn. Great job with the M4 behind these carts to do the damage. 2 down, looking for 3, maybe 4. Everybody lining up for him, and you can see how dominant this position is with, well, really any gun in hand.
Yeah, but again, I think you get the break, but then Dallas are able to respond. Like, this is, I think, what one of the keys to victory has been all weekend for the Atlanta FaZe. When you get those kills, you have to turn it into more points. Being down only 20 points, I think, for the Dallas Empire, you're in a great spot right now. You see where they're spawning up. When we rotate over towards Warehouse next, they're going to have the back spawns, or will they? They still have them right now. Is that it's Illy and Shotzi who just spawn up. They're earning time as well. They're able to find the kill. So I think you take that. It's been a wonderful job. A nice rebound by the Dallas Empire.
Hook was kind of your X factor. You said he goes under the radar sometimes, which I know is ludicrous, but he is 16 and 10, leading all Slayers. I think the thing that stood out to me the most on the FaZe side was Major Maniac a moment ago was 3 and 7, now to 4 and 8. And there are games that they win and he has lower engagements, but you got to think he needs to step it up a bit as Clayster starts to heat up. A triple for him, 12 and 8, 4 in a row, almost 5 as Crimstick steals that final pick. But lovely from Clay, who was, hard on himself after that last home series event.
And again, right, it's what they're doing with these kills. They're pushing Atlanta FaZe so far from warehouse where Hook and Shotzzy already are. And that's why they have the lead right now. I think Minecart and Depot, 2 and 3, they did a wonderful job to keep themselves in the game. Now they have this lead. What can they hold on to? It's Clayster and Shotzzy. They're going to use their teamwork and find a few kills. Now you have a bit of a staggered push coming in from the Atlanta FaZe. Abizi and Priesta get taken down. This is wonderful. Look at the kill feed. It is all blue for the Dallas Empire.
Yeah, I think it's perfect. I mean, as you highlighted FaZe's inability to hold with the early rotation, now we're seeing it done perfectly by Empire, and that is why the score now getting so skewed into their favor. As Clay trying to do some damage from outskirts, he does enough to help his teammates inside. Shotzzy picks up the final 2 in the hard point, and this looks to be a flawless 60.
Yeah, flawless 60 as a big fight's going down on the other side of the map for the spawns for the next hill. Shotzzy in the hill, going to take down Simp, not able to find Priesta. Illy trying to do what he can. These are the gunfights that could give them the spawns. Is Hook now trying to stay alive?
Major Maniac does win one. I think it's Celium that spawns up on that right side of the map for him. One spawns up, but then now look at it. Empire have it all. Everybody still spawning at warehouse for FaZe. This is beautiful from Empire and a fantastic chance over the next, 90 or so seconds to really push up a massive lead.
And I think this is just what we talk about when you're effective on the map with your kills. Like what Dallas has turned their kills into. Where the opposite side, I mean, take a look at the scoreboard. It's not like you really have someone suffering in the slaying category. You still have Celium +5, Simp and Priest are around even. And we saw what they were able to do on the second and third hill. Atlanta FaZe are just not turning their 5 or 6 down into more points. Major Maniac trying to be the route man right now. Trying to stay alive, trying to set up his team for the next hill.
Right around +10 for Empire at this current moment. But yeah, so much to Major Maniac to try and make a play in the back. Can he get a couple of kills as his teammates rally over and spawn Empire on the opposite side?
Yeah, I think it's more can his team get the kills and he stay alive. So there's the first one. Is that going to influence things? Illy and Shotzzy, though, they go big. Shotzzy is able to find 2 of his teammates, but Major Maniac finds 3. Trying to do what he can in the hill. Takes down Crim as well. Sliding back and forth. What a play for Major Maniac. That could be a game-changing one right there.
It 100% is. I mean, think about if they don't get this break. Empire running away with this game, but now FaZe are right back into it behind the route man. This is the reason they put an SMG in his hand and moved Celium over to the AR. They wanted Major Maniac to make plays just like that, Joe.
Yeah, that's exactly why they did it, right? He's not able to do that with an assault rifle, or he would have to play it a little bit differently. He's so much more effective in those situations. But Dallas, very similar to the first rotation. They're going to rotate over to Minecart. It's going to be about a 20-point lead. And look at this setup, just so spread both sides. How are FaZe going to attack this?
It was FaZe at Minecart with the early setup last time around, and Empire were able to break. Now can FaZe try to burst on through? Effectively traded back and forth so far. Illy the one making the plays inside of the hard point as the flood now comes in from FaZe. 20 and 19 out of Illy as he snaps back to take out one more, but Celium took down 2 before that, and that's going to be FaZe now into the hard point. Celium at 24 and 17 leading the way for FaZe as they get right back into this, now down 30.
Yeah, it was a great play by Abizi. He was the last man at the prior hill we were at, and he was just waiting to set up the pinch, and he took his time. He waited for his teammates, and well, he was rewarded with 2 kills in hill time, able to break that through. But once again, when it comes down to it, who's in the hill towards the end? It's Dallas Empire. They just are doing such a good job making sure that FaZe can't turn their kills into a ton of time.
It feels like this game is going to come down to this next warehouse hold once we get through the crates hard point. Left side of the map right now, at least, is going to go to Empire. You're down 30 if you're FaZe. You've got to somehow keep them out of this point, rack up what time you can to make the play on the other side. It's Abizi that's going to be going the whole way around. He's that number 5 on the map. He's got 3 players of Empire to deal with. Only takes out 1 before he drops, so it'll still be Empire with the spawns for next. But you've gotten some quality time here if you're FaZe.
Yeah, I was just going to say, but this is one of those hills, right, where if you're Dallas, you don't want to give up the spawns, right, because you have the lead. You're just so focused on setting up warehouse that look at what has happened. 20 or 30 seconds go by, Atlanta FaZe about to take the lead because they have just earned so much time due to that play from aBeZy was putting pressure on the spawns. You see that flash come over, aBeZy's gonna find that kill. But we talked about the warehouse hold. Who's it going to come down to? Dallas going to be the first ones there. Can Atlanta FaZe break through?
Well, last time it was, what, about 50 or so points for Empire on this hard point. They bordered on flawless from this position. Can they do it again? Just seconds away from another lead change. Is Empire about to go out in front, but it's going to be a 5-man hit from the top side of the map and mid for FaZe. This is a huge, huge push. They can't get the first injury. It's Shotzzy that's able to stagger this a bit. Wrapping around the bottom side of it will be aBeZy, and now the pinch will come through. aBeZy does end up falling, but FaZe has gotten into the hard point, Joe, and 2 players from Empire now spawning out.
I mean, that was, what, a 3v5, and those players just got through the doors. I mean, there were so many players from Dallas outside of the hill that the trades weren't there on the hill. So this is what happens. Atlanta FaZe, they just win all the gunfights from inside, and they were able to break on through. It was such a good hold on the first rotation for the Dallas Empire, but Atlanta FaZe able to make it messy as we're going to go to another set of hills.
Yeah, they basically split it, right? It's going to be just about a tie game. Empire will go out in front, but just by a couple of points. As we now get into the third set of rotations, we'll take a look at the minimap. It's Shotzzy. He just drops as he was on a 4 spree.
Made the play. Shotzzy was able to make the play, just stayed alive inside that train. I think Atlanta FaZe thought they had that side of the map locked up, but Shotzzy was inside. He's able to take down the one player, and you see what happens to the spawn. They flip.
It was Major Maniac that was able to sneak through last time and make the play, heading over to Depot. Can he do it yet again? Empire cannot have any cracks in these lanes. They can't let anybody slip on through. So far, they're doing a good job. I know they're not getting much time here, but neither is the Atlanta FaZe. If Glaciers looking for something, all he sees is a smoke, and finally it's aBeZy that comes flying on through. I think Major Maniac's trying to do it again. This time he's going all the way through the top side of the map, through minecart, and he's going to try and get in. But at number 6 in Crim6, looks like he's got it picked up from that window.
Yeah, it's Shotzzy, I think, inside the window. So with 5 seconds left, they're going to try to set up a big push right when that hill pops. We'll see what Atlanta FaZe can do. They're hitting both sides. There's that opener for aBeZy. And off that, I think the team is going to go, and aBeZy, or sorry, Hook actually spawns out. So this is a chance for Atlanta FaZe. 2 kills come in from Priest and Sim. Shotzzy, you can make such good plays from up top. He's got the help of Hook and Illy. They're able to find 3 kills. Hook finds the 4th, Crim with the 5th. Have they done enough here inside of Depot?
They keep holding on. The parallel spawn was there for a moment, but I think it was Crim6's position that spawned them out a little bit deeper towards mid. You got 30 seconds left on the hard point. Empire can win it here. They're holding behind Clay, Shotzzy, Illy, the entire squad getting involved to line them on up. 15 more points now needed for Empire as they look to close out Game 1 in the Chicago Home Series final. Can they get it done on this point? It's desperation time now for FaZe as they try to soar in. There was a contest for just a moment, but the contest is not long enough. Priest is going to drop out front, and that's going to do it for map 1. Empire with the 250-222 victory. They take the hard point.
Yeah, and you saw the last like 10-15 seconds what Atlanta FaZe was trying to do. They were just trying to get it to minecart. You had Major Maniac spawn up and immediately hit the rotation of minecart. He was just hoping his teammates could contest for a few more seconds, but man, I still think that game difference right there is the first rotation. What Dallas Empire was able to do in the 2nd to 3rd hill to stop Atlanta FaZe from earning a ton of time early on in that game, I think helps them all the way towards the end.
I think you're spot on, but I hope we can take a look at the stats because Shotzzy, man, he has been so improved over the course of this year. He goes 39-21 at +10. He has 90 seconds in the hard point as well. He leads the way for all Slayers on the map. There was no Simp 50 bomb to get in his way. Shotzzy took over and is going toe-to-toe with some of the best SMGs, if not the best SMGs in the world.
Not only Shotzzy, I mean, Illy has another big game. Hook right behind them. Like, you had the 3 SMGs going off, and then Clay goes big with that AR. 33-23 from Clay with a minute in the hill. On the other side, again, it's not like anybody went crazy negative. There was a couple opportunities for them to earn a lot of time. The Atlanta FaZe just not able to do so.
What are they? I think they actually ended up outslaying about 26, is I believe what it was. So It was a bit more lopsided. I think when you first kind of pointed out it was close, when I did the math, it was like 9 or 10, but that was with only a couple minutes left in the game. So over that final stretch, they really opened up that slaying advantage even more for the side of Empire. And man, they got the key kills when they needed them. But I think you're spot on. It came down to a couple of hard points where Empire were able to break in behind the early phase holds. And I think it was Nameless that was talking a little bit about, I think the word he used was sloppy gameplay from FaZe at times, where you think they should be in a good position to run away with the game, to lock down a hard point, and they're just not able to do it. But before we get into the search and destroy, I just want to give you an updated look of how we got here, in case you just may be tuning in on this Sunday, CDL Sunday, to take a look at the top teams in the game, the final 4 that have got here. But obviously, it's been a road that started out on Friday. Joe, were there any huge shocks for you really this weekend?
I think I was very impressed with New York. Seattle, I thought they improved a bit as well. Still only their wins over the Los Angeles Guerrillas, but I thought they played FaZe pretty tough in the semifinals. So I'm just excited to see those teams in the future home series.
Yeah, I mean, Subliners, I know, even though Crowder kind of talked to us on Hard Points about how much they've improved, I still need to see it, right? I need to see it with my own eyes and see how much better they've gotten, and we saw just that. Yeah. And I think even London, I mean, God bless them, they have 2 months off. Same with Subliners, like 2 months off, and you come in and you have to play Huntsmen and FaZe, but they played them really tough, and they looked improved with Shawnee. And I think, again, it's just one of those weekends that reminds you how good this level of competition is with only 12 teams in the league.
Yeah, I thought London had a couple of good opportunities, right? You had a great series, a great match from the likes of like Dylan and Scraps, but just not able to close it out. So, yeah, I think the future is bright, right, for a lot of these home series. I mean, now we have, 7-8 teams where I think realistically you could make an argument where they can make a run to the final. So it should be awesome to watch.
It definitely feels that way. But now back to the focus on this series. This is somewhere that FaZe have been already this tournament, right? They dropped, 2 hard points to the Subliners. They'd lost the map 1, and that's where them being so well-rounded in all modes really benefits them. They can rebound and answer in the search and destroy, but I think the scary thing here, as you kind of alluded to earlier, is these might be 2 of the top search teams in the game.
Yeah, and this is an interesting one, though, right? Because I feel like we always talk about the veto system and the way it evolves, right? Maybe there's a map or 2 you're not seeing from a lot of different teams, and then as the future home series goes on, you'll start to see them pop in because they have to start to switch it up. And this is one, I think, for both of these teams. I think what you would have seen 2 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, is probably a Piccadilly. I think both of these teams are very comfortable on that map, and that was one of their go-tos. But now you have St. Petrograd starting to come into play, where you only have 2 official map reps for the Atlanta FaZe. They're 1-1. On the other side for Dallas, it's just 1-0. 1-0 versus Minnesota. So this is what I mean, right? Like you don't have that Piccadilly. So this is an opportunity for the Dallas Empire where if they did their homework this weekend, they could have an advantage.
Okay, well, it's time to load into the map too, Joe. I'm going to crack open a game fuel, and I'm going to hope it doesn't get all over me.
That.
Oh!
You got to put it on the ground.
Yeah, cast the first 5 seconds because it's all over my hands, Joe.
Okay, well, the game's loading in, so you're good. We'll just wait for you. We'll wait for you. You back yet?
Yes,
no?
Let's do it, Joe.
All right, well, we're into it. Zip hits a nasty one right off the start on the Shotzi. As that's going to be a good first blood for the Atlanta FaZe. He's getting a ton of information towards end. You see the blue arrow start to rotate, but with such an early first blood, Atlanta FaZe can play the map how they want.
Welcome to map 2. As Simp hits the shot. Illy able to even the odds at 4-4 with a minute left in the round. FaZe just working up that B Street. As Major Maniac patrols second story of restaurant. Just very passive from both teams right now. The pressure on the offense, obviously, to make a play. Where do they find their opening?
Yeah, and I think what FaZe is trying to do, and what I probably would have liked to see them do, and I mean, you get such a early first blood, you could sort of just take your time and force them to rotate on the map. There's a BZ. He's going to find Clay, show him some love. They won a world championship together, so don't worry about that. So now it's a 3 versus 4.
It's my turn, old man.
Yeah, exactly. See what FaZe decides to do, but they got to go fast. I mean, they have to commit to a bomb site. They have to plant. It's 5 seconds to plant. I do not know if they're going to have time. I don't think they will.
Now with bomb down, surely this one is going to be done. 5 seconds on the clock. A BZ and a 1 versus 2. Has to track back for bomb. Nothing he can do. And yeah, you get the first blood there if you're FaZe. You get the first step done. What falls apart for you?
I think giving them a 4 versus 4. Again, what you're hoping when you get a first blood that early is they over-rotate to a site or they split, right? Like we saw them in a 2v2. The problem is you don't have 5 players to sort of trade it out. It's only 4. 1 or 2 gets picked off, and then all of a sudden, there's no time on the clock. You want that 5th player to stay up. You want him to entry in, take a 5 versus 2. You should be able to open up a bomb site, and right there, a bit of a sloppy round from FaZe.
You got to close out those rounds where you get the first blood, especially when it's clean with no trade.
So early on, too.
Shotzzy, though, this time he finds the opening, rips off Major Maniac's head. Explosions everywhere as Abizi now answers back, but a stun, I believe, comes on through. Simp's going to have to watch over him from the window, and he can't get it done. There is one team kill for Empire, but they're still going to have the numbers as they work to get this bomb down.
Yeah, BZ playing a little bit of an offing, all right? We're so used to somebody playing on the van or inside the crates. He was playing on the bomb. Was only able to find one. Priest trying to work the flank. He's able to force a 2 versus 2. They have time as well.
And who's the guy that has stepped up in the search for them lately? It has been Priest.
It's been Priest, right? Big in rounds. But Priest gonna get caught by Clay as he shoulders the door. Now it's all up to Celium.
He goes soaring out. They've got him on both sides, and that is dominance from Empire again, up 2-0. And it was kind of a crazy one. I mean, there's the team kill for Empire. If Simp peeks that window maybe a second earlier, he can give Abizi help, but then he gets caught as well as he goes to help Abizi. It seemed to be just perfect angles and positioning from Empire. The only real blunder, just the team kill from the vehicle.
Yeah, and again, I know one of the keys to victory was, I wouldn't say a shot at Abizi, but it was one of those things that we just noticed where he was getting first blooded a lot. But, I mean, he plays in a lot of tough positions. I think really what Ant's point was is maybe you're a step or two ahead of, like, your teammate as you're making those pushes, so make sure the trades are there. But he's going to be the guy that's first in. He's going to be the guy that's getting first blood.
Like, for years, we talked about it with Zuma. When he's first in, he wins that first gunfight, things are usually going smooth. When you're first in and you lose 4 in a row, it can make it very, very difficult on the team. But that's back-to-back first bloods now for Empire behind the headshot from Clay onto Priesta.
And they're just looking comfortable on this map so far. They don't have to move. It's all up to FaZe. And again, FaZe playing the clock. 40 seconds off the round. Which bomb set are they going to go to? Nobody really moving for them quite yet. And I think this is just they're in a position where they're trying to get Dallas Empire to overthink, maybe over-rotate, but they don't have to because they have the numbers. Zip, he's going to find another kill. Going to make it a 4v4.
Do you think they seem uncomfortable on offense? Is it more just relying on them to make a play and win a one-on-one?
Yeah, I think that's it, right? I think they are waiting for the rotation so Simp can pick off that player inside the, back street like he just did. I think they were just trying to wait for him to find it. He's able to do so.
Well, patience pays off, but now 16 seconds to go. They've got to get this bomb planted. They find themselves in a tough position to get the bomb down with little time on the clock again, but this time they're able to do it. It's Clayster in through Hazmat.
Oh, he doesn't see him.
Just doesn't spot him in the corner. Abizi and Major Maniac then able to get kills. 3v2 for FaZe.
Yeah, Major Maniac was tucked away in that corner. Clay doesn't see him. Abizi and Major Maniac now just trying to reposition. Smokes go down on the bomb. Abizi finds Shotzzy. Major Maniac able to find the last player. And yeah, I think if Clay spots Major Maniac in the corner, that's a round over, a round win for Dallas Empire.
Just right on his screen, just doesn't see him tucked away. And that time the patience pays off, but if that's how they're going to be playing every offensive round, I mean, it feels like they're going to have situations that are going to continuously come down to like the final 20 seconds to work the plant, and it just feels like such a gamble sometimes, but there it works out.
Well, I'm sure they'll switch it up. We'll see how they do. I mean, it's always easy to go back to a fast day. I think that's the default for most teams. Sure. So it just sometimes it turns into a bit of a 50-50, right? Guessing the right corner, making sure your nades hit, and I think they're just trying to play it a little bit more methodically behind Sim's sniper, and why not? We know how good of a sniper he is. Priesta got right by somebody. Clayster, he ran right by him.
Play a dead silence pop. Just maybe got a fortunate timing.
Yeah, I mean, this is an opening for both teams, but Priesta may pounce first.
Patience there, like the trigger discipline. Make sure to take out Krim. That's going to turn one head and Hook, but Hook able to get the trade. You pointed out Clay getting through on the other side. Are they going to be ready for it? I think at number 4, Major Maniac is the one.
They can rotate it.
It's trying to peek out, and Major Maniac's going to get caught. Clay makes the play on the other side.
Yeah, and now you see Bomb just hit middle of the street, and Celium and Simp, they have to respond. So they're going to try to hit the flank. Hook's ready for it, though. If we can hop over to his point of view, he's going to take down one. I like that. Just play your life, play the numbers. He repositions. Celium's really good, though.
Yeah, that's one way to highlight that. How good, though, because he's got 40 seconds to work toward this bomb. He has to take out Shotzzy and Clay if he's going to get this done. Here he goes. Spots Clay in the back. It's awkward with the mantle, but he's able to finish the kill. I think he goes for the slide and melees.
Yeah, he gets a dead slide.
Oh, no. Just the movement not on point there. He can't get across the gap. We'll see how close it was from Shotzzy. Oh, yeah. He doesn't blunder the movement there. He's got, what, 20, 25 seconds to work with and maybe a chance to reach out.
22 seconds. Maybe he hears Shotzzy, right? I mean, it was there. I mean, beautiful shots on the Clay. Uses that van for cover.
Oh, I thought he was toast when he got hit as he was mantling, but then he just snaps and obliterates Clay. 3-1. Now to Empire, and this looks like it's going to be the quick A hit you talked about.
Yeah, they got the trophy from Celium. Maybe that, allows them to play a little bit more comfortably. Smokes go down. There's a BZ. Guess the entry guy is going to find the first blood this time. Gives them the advantage, but Shotzi's nades are there. Not sure where he throws that. They probably thought they were safe with the trophy that Celium put down as we started. But now with 3 versus 4. I mean, they have a 5v4. They just sort of play around this and get the bomb. The round's probably over. But the nade makes the difference.
Another round in which FaZe get the first blood. It might fall apart for him, but Major Maniac brings it all square. Shotzzy getting tagged up, but able to stay up. And he's going to fly right on through. There's the kill, but his teammate drops at the same time, and Major Maniac goes big once again. Now on to Clayster, who was playing deep at B throughout all of this. He has to rally on in. He's got Dead Silence pop now. Can he find an opening while it is still going?
Yeah, I think he was just hoping to find, right now his Dead Silence is out. I think he was hoping to find somebody on the bomb. Now things get a lot more difficult. Celium is going to drop it. He's able to stay alive, though. Major has his cross. Celium going to peek. Celium smokes him. If Clay has Deddy popped, maybe he's able to find that first player. There's a shot, but nice teamwork out of these two players in Celium and Major Maniac.
That's a big rebound in the round. I think it was all Major Maniac, because after the Shotzzy nade, they're in a 3v4. It looks like they're in a tough spot around the site as the rotation's starting to come in from Empire. And Major Maniac, I think, gets 2 before he falls. Really opens up A for him. 2-3 now. Still advantage to Empire. Shotzzy and a BZ leading the way respectively for their teams. I believe in that round it was a BZ with another first blood. This time it's Priesta. Priesta lines up the shot. Pure beam. Clayster's down. And Clay's...
Yeah, and we saw him do this yesterday, right? Just work this side, work this site, and he's doing a great job.
I'm pretty sure it's back-to-back defenses where Priesta's picked Clay on that street.
Well, no, because the last time Clay got all the way around, right? It was just like a
Oh, that's right. That was 2 before that. You're right.
There's that first blood. They're controlling middle of the map as well. You take half the round off. What is Dallas going to do? Probably just your only options really to go towards A. And guess who's here? It's Mr. Abizi.
He gets sniffed out. What a play from Grim with the close range M4 shots. Able to do it. 2v2 now. Bomb getting planted with just under 30 to go. They'll get the plant through. Major Maniac and Priest to try to work this defuse. Nice shot from Major Maniac. That's going to make it a 1v1. Priesta versus Shotzzy.
Trying to spot him. There's just so many angles to check.
He spotted him
through the window.
Oh.
Wow, nice shots out of Priesta.
Oh my God, what a play from Priesta as he gets the high ground, gets the angle through the window, and hits the shots. A big clutch to bring us even as Priesta continues to be the playmaker for FaZe Clan and Search.
Yeah, just clutch round. I think you could just... He's probably got 5 or 6 rounds this weekend where you could just go back and see his impact. and what he's able to do for this team. I mean, another big 1v1 to just keep them in this.
Yeah, no, it feels like this could be 6-0 Empire. Like, I almost feel like all 3 of the round wins for the side of FaZe have relied on somebody going big, whether it's Priesta, whether it's Major Maniac, like making some sort of heroic play to keep him in it. How many more moments do they have in them?
Well, that's what makes them so great, right? It's just any single one of these guys can have that moment.
Yeah, that's true. Back to what we saw in their first couple of offenses. Just trying to set up a pick. Rely on maybe a lack of patience from Empire on a rotation. But so far, they are holding strong. The peak is going to be Clay, and Simp gets dropped.
There's just so many angles to check, right? And Simp, he just pitched the wrong one. Clay's able to find that first blood. Now it is time to go. You are down a man. There's only 45 seconds. Priesta, he's going to pop dead silence. Can he find the opening? Can he make the play? Well, can't make that jump. So now what are you going to do?
That was about
the dead silence is wasted.
The least efficient dead silence I've ever seen. That didn't help him. We had the dead slide earlier for Celium. Now Priestess can't hit the jump up. But Abizi and Priest to get the kills. Clayster and Shotzi are going to fall. Illy connects with the frag grenade. 15 seconds left to go. They have to work the plant. Is Illy in a position to play spoiler? Here's the peek. There's the drop. Bomb does not get planted. Abizi's got to pick it up and try and stick on it. Not able to do it, but now it's on Major Maniac. Last alive. Illy.
Can he hunt him? Can he hunt him?
Is he out? Is he out? He's able to stay alive just long enough. Illy makes the play on the site.
He's looking at each other now. Hey, what's up? What's good? What's up, bro?
Little hide and go seek. I was over here, bro. Oh,
but yeah, he's able to hit that nade. He's able to stay alive. And once again, that's 2 offensive round downs for FaZe, where the clock is their biggest enemy.
Well, 3, but at least one they got the plant, got the round win, right? But if you're talking about planting we're trying to plant with under 15 seconds. I believe that's the 3rd now. How did Empire try to set this up? It looks like aggression right up mid. Shotzi is flying up mid-map. The flank is going to be there quick through pillars, and the flank is there. Shotzi gets the first kill. The trade is on, though, and Simp, mid-map, hits a snipe at the same time, so it will be numbers for FaZe.
Yeah, it could have been easy, too, for Shotzi. Just some uncomfortable timing. Hook just says hello, but the trades are there as he just flies on through, able to make it a 3 versus 2. That is why you stay by your teammates.
Yeah. I think Hook about cracked his left stick on that movement. Illy, nice shot. The hero of the last round, looking to do more.
Problem is they don't have bomb right now.
Look where it is too, like in arches.
Priesta catches the timing. There was a player that just checked it. I think it was Illy who wraps back, checks the door, but Priesta, he finds the timing with the flank. Little Katami on his side. And Atlanta FaZe, they're still in this one.
This has been a crazy search so far.
Yeah, it really has, man. I mean, these rounds have just developed so far.
Right, yeah. You haven't had, like, every search and story feels like there's some of those rounds that are over in 30, 40 seconds. Like, all of these are going to time limit nearly. The longer they go, the more decisions each team has to make. And right now, they're even. Major Maniac has 11 kills on the board, and Simp with another opening first blood with that sniper rifle. He's able to hit the shot.
All right, you got attempt number 2. Let's see what they do with it this time. You get the first blood. How are you going to work the map? Major Maniac just trying to show some presence towards this site, but yeah, I think it's a good idea if you back up. And with the aggressive place of Shotzi, well,
there it is again.
Crim's able to find him.
There it is again. You get the first blood. You have the 5v4. And a pick happens with no trade, but Simp connects on the snipe again. Just hitting shot after shot. I think coming into today, he had 10 snipes, leading all players, putting on a show once again.
Yeah, so what happens, right? You stack 3 to 4 towards A. They have to wrap back and rotate through the middle of the street, and that's where Simp's just watching the cross. Crim, he peeks the middle archway, able to get taken down, but Clay just trying to do his best towards the B site. He's able to find one, pops that silence, not making the play, but wrap back in the middle again, and it happens again. He's just so patient with this sniper. He knows all the angles.
Oh, he's working on a potential ace now. He's hitting 3 snipes in the round. Shotzzy, though, is going to catch him on bomb. That's going to make it a 2 versus 2. And again, it's down to the clock. There's only 10 seconds remaining. They have to work this plant. Shotzzy with the finesse inside. Finally going to drop. 2 versus 1. They have to plant, though. And Crimmy's got the angle. Crimm's going to get the kill. And he gets away with his life. He is out. And once again, Empire steal a round. What are these search rounds, Joe?
Nobody was watching over the bomb planter. Celium was all alone. I don't know who was behind him. I think it might have been a BZ, but he wasn't watching over him. He wasn't close. So many angles, and yeah, Dallas Empire's best friend is that clock.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're just sort of guessing, right? Like, they have no idea where Crim is at that point with all the chaos going on, and he just finds the angle. He takes a bullet or two, but he's able to get away. The GOAT
and
coming
I
up clutch.
honestly wasn't even sure if they would have gotten the plan off, but Crim still gets that kill.
It was darn close. I mean, the last time I looked, it was like around 5.2, 5.3 when he slid across. FaZe now will try to get us to around 11. Empire working the site. Abeezy's gonna spot one. Another first blood for Abeezy, and I don't know what that is. A head just lands in front of him, but Crim6 answers with 2 of his own. 2 versus 2. 55 seconds to go on the clock. Empire gets the bomb back.
And it's been those mind games on the flank, right? We've talked about it time and time again. And who is it? It's Clayster versus Parisa. This kill could be the difference in this round. Parisa's just watching the flank. Crim's all alone in the bomb site. Probably doesn't want to plant until Clay can reposition and watch over him. Maybe with that stun, he's going to spot him. I think Clay did spot him. You see that arrow starting to move on up. He's getting in a position.
Oh, he can't finish it.
Priest is able to get out. They're going towards B, and there's a player there. Simp's waiting for it. Simp is making the heads-up play, just trying to wait for it. But he might rotate out. Okay, so he hears Crim. He heard Crim, and just like FaZe, they're going to play the time. And that should be the round. Simp now going to run away, and it is the clock on
He's hiding in the same spot.
That strikes once again.
And now he hides the same spot Illy was, just tucking away. 5-5, round 11 coming up next. What a treat this game 2 has been.
I mean, if Clay hits probably one more bullet on Priesta, it's
oh yeah,
done.
one more,
One
more,
versus
100%, one more.
They play together, it's over. But Priesta just able to use that movement and get inside top restaurant.
I thought once he threw that stun and Clay knew his position, he was dead to rights, but whew, just gets out. Round 11 and your Chicago home series final between FaZe and Empire. It does not get better than this. Empire will be on offense. Simp, no snipe in hand this time around, just tucked away mid-map behind that table. Here comes Empire.
Abeezy was in this spot last round. He's got to be careful. He was right in this position. How is Dallas going to play this? They go right back to the A hit. They like the numbers they had inside the site. Abeezy, he's using dead silence, trying to spot what he can. Nobody working the flank quite yet. It's all up to Abeezy. Can he find the first blood? He does. He's able to stay alive. Can he find the second? Abeezy trying to make the play, but so his teammate takes him down.
I think he was dead anyway, but yeah, it ends up being a team kill. With 40 seconds to go. 4 versus 4. Bomb is down. Empire still have got to work this as Illy is able to scoop it up. Dead silence pop by one of the members on the side of FaZe. It's Priest.
I mean, with Simp's position, they can't rotate it, right? They cannot rotate it without him probably hearing something, so he knows it's A. So you still have 3 players here. There's going to be a freebie, but Illy gets down, and they know where Major Maniac is, and Hook flies. And Hook flies almost takes down Priest.
I thought he was going to gun him. 3v2 the numbers now for Empire, but they still have to work the plant. Celium able to get the kill. Turns into a 2v2 for a moment, but now it's all going to be on Simp. 1 versus 2. They got to get it down. Simp trying to track across and get in position to make the play, but there's the plant. It's 1v2 for Simp. It's now 1v1 for Simp. The youngster. The vet.
They both have
former
Daddy.
teammates.
They both have Daddy popped.
Clay holds it. Clay gets the shots in. Simp gets out the window.
He still has time. 30 seconds to work with. Both Daddies are out now. Both Daddies are out. What are they going to do? Clay continues to play top. He's going to hear him. He's got it. He probably hears him. He goes down the stairs, and I think Clay may have made the play, but Simp
gets the kill. He gets the kill. He gets the kill.
Wins the 1v1.
Oh my God! What a map 2 it was.
The last bullet. Wow.
I thought he got out. I thought he got around the corner, just like we saw Priest do to Clay. I thought Clay got out. What was that? Holy hell, that was a treat, Joe. Woo!
Yeah, I mean, how many rounds come down to the clock? Almost another one. And it's Simp versus Clay, former world championship teammates, but it's Simp who clutches the 1v2.
That map took it out of me. Oh my God.
That was fun.
There were so many intense moments over the course of that. Just insane stuff throughout that search and destroy. Two of the best teams in the world going toe-to-toe, but we're now going to be all tied up at 1-1 as FaZe steal it in the end. It's Simp with the 1v2. He hit so many snipes over the course of that game, but it's the 1v2 clutch that is the difference. What a moment for Simp.
I mean, even just him for to play the time, use that dead silence. But yeah, if Clay just gets around the corner, if he finds it, man, it's over. But since he's able to get out, he's able to reposition, and, well, he wins it.
Well, this is our U.S. Army tactical play, and what else? It's got to be the 1v1 as Simp gets the clutch. That was insanity, and I think you're right. I think he just hears him when he's top. Dude, that I don't even actually know how that last bullet hit. Like it looked like Clay was a good 3 feet behind the wall, but the hip fire wall bang comes in. That's like a bit of a miracle. That's insane. I just watching it again, how crazy that was. There was some luck there. The COD gods on the side of Simp and FaZe for that one. Woo!
But yeah, it just comes down to they both run out of Daddy, and I think Simp is crouching around. He's got a little bit more mobility with the MP5, and I think Clay is in a position where he doesn't want to make a noise, so he's trying to not move at all. And well, with a few seconds to spare, Simp's able to find him.
And just think how close Clay was catching him, like before he dipped out the window. Like that was one of the better search and destroys I think we've had all year, Joe, without question.
I loved it. That was so fun, man.
That was incredible. I hope you're enjoying this CDL game day presented by Game Fuel. It is a sensational final so far. We're tied up 1-1 in this best of 5, map 3, up after this quick break.
Call of Duty League is brought to you by Metro by T-Mobile. Stay connected to what matters most with the best value in wireless. Scuff Gaming, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
What a map it was, Joe. And I think I saw Miles tweet. It's perfect. He said the student becomes the master. Like Simp versus Clay. You could have not asked for something better. But what's so crazy is like we were so ready to hype that 1 versus 1 that first gunfight was ludicrous. Like you saw from Clay's POV earlier how hard it is to rip somebody off that bomb site, like that box. And Simp just rips him right off it.
Yeah, it's one of those plays where like I think Italy's just maybe trying to play a little bit for information, trying to get right back down. I think the headshots just come in. But I won't lie to you. This map is one I've been looking forward to because when you look at the Hackney Yard domination for both of these teams, on the one side, it's Atlanta 5-1. On the other side, it's Dallas 8-3. So both of these teams have so many reps. They have winning records. This should be a fun battle.
And this is for Empire, where I think having the veterans on the team is so important to kind of guide these young guys, because that was a painful loss. Like I think that was super winnable for Empire. There were some rounds they threw away, some advantages they threw away. I think you could absolutely argue that Empire should have won that map. Now, though, you have to put it behind you quickly. You have to rebound, and that's where people like Clay and Krim are so important, especially for Clay. Like, you just lost that 1v1. Brush it off. Bring the passion. Here we go into the domination, all tied up at 1-1 in this best of 5.
And I think we have a couple examples for both of these teams where they just dominate on this map. We just saw it in the semifinal for Dallas, and then what? It was a 60-70 point swing that you and I casted over the Atlanta FaZe. Just how quickly they can explode on this map.
They had a 2-cap the entire map. Yeah, it's when they spawned on this side. They spawned A side, and literally it was a 2-cap or a 2-cap and a neutral the entire 5 minutes. Empire, you got to think they watched that film and they've got something up their sleeve to deal with it, and there it is. As they pull it out, that's 3-4 kills they now get towards B. They'll work to get this secure, and there's the pressure towards A. A couple players going to spawn out. 1 from FaZe towards back green, 2 now going to spawn out towards C. Is this an early flip for Empire?
And Abizi's trying to hang on. Gonna have another 1v1. He's able to win 1 on Ailey. Shotzzy trying to do what he can. He knows the importance of his life right now. Just finessing around. The neutral is almost there. He closes the door on him. He says, nope, not today. He's out of there. The movement from Shotzzy just so smooth, but the problem is his teammates go down. Able to find Freesta. Abizi was there, though. Abizi stayed alive the entire time. And yeah, a great play from Shotzzy. A better play from Abizi, and AB right back in the hands of the Atlanta FaZe.
Still going to finish off B. But they will clear out Freesta towards mid-map. It seems like every time this battle goes down to B, there's just so many kills coming in for Empire. Now Hoop's able to sneak through, get a smoke down onto A. There's the neutral again that's going to force Celium to wrap back and deal with this one-on-one. That means they can't put pressure onto B. The only place currently capped is going to be C for Empire, and they'll just pick up B.
Yeah, you see the importance of A, right? Atlanta FaZe doesn't care about B whatsoever. They want that A home flank, but they have to get the kills. Crim's able to find 2. Guess who's still here? It's Hoop the Nuke. Doing what he can back by this dumpster. Major Maniac able to take him down, not trying to stay alive. All the red arrows flying back towards this side of the map. And here's the thing. This entire time, Dallas has 2 flags. They have the neutral. They have a 14-point lead.
Yeah, it just feels like FaZe have never been able to get set up or get comfortable. There's always one more person at A, it feels like, for Empire. Always one more person with pressure. Now you get 4 kills. Maybe this is the chance to start to breathe a little on the map and slow it down, but they haven't been able to get B until this point in the game. There is FaZe getting B, down 14. Now can they lock up Empire? But here they come.
Well,
Shotzzy gets 2.
It reminds me of Hardpoint, right? They're getting the kills to get there, but it's that set after, so where they can get set up and lock them in, that Dallas Empire just shutting them down, so you're not allowing them to get the setup they want.
It's that big, like, 3-on-3 or 4-on-4 towards B. It feels like Empire's won every single one, right? Like, every single one they've come out of with numbers, and that's why they've been able to flood over towards the A site and continue that pressure there as Illy continues to patrol around B. But it's Empire up 17. They're working to get B capped as well. They're trying to bounce back from that painful round 11 search and destroy loss. Let's go to an Astro Gaming listen in with your Dallas Empire.
Top up, brother.
Yep.
Yeah, top I need
I need a top out.
I got multiple.
Top out there.
Neutral.
I'm watching. I'm hanging out.
One shot. They're absolute.
I have your
help.
Sit on. I can't be. I stun him their door.
Yeah, they're here.
That's got done. Bring the song behind us.
That's the door. Let's
go
shot
fast.
Let's push
to the door. To the door.
I got one.
And mid. Mid. One the door. Easy, go in their door. Close up.
That's their door and to the left and the right. To the left and to the right. To the left and to the right.
He's gonna go top scav. You got that top L?
I'll
pick it up. Get it at?
Up top out.
Got one P1. One more scav.
I'm trying to watch. I'm watching C and bottom.
Scav in their door. Scav in their door.
We want to go see. We want to see.
Top slant. He was top slant, Porter.
Yeah, I hear you.
I spawned here. You're good.
Okay.
I spawned
He
here.
went back to.
I got him. Mid map then. Yeah.
I got him. Nice. Good job.
They beat top L.
No,
I have mid stairs now.
Top L. Another one.
I need
one shot. Push.
Yo, watch out.
Let's go.
Last kid there. I'm going in.
Let's go. Yo, cut off green.
He's one shot. on me. Fork. One shot.
Get my cut off.
Somebody go back to C.
Yo, going back. There's my
I got cut off.
Go back to
They're gonna be L and B.
Yeah, already B. Top L, I got one. One on B right now.
Let's go, Porter. Just fly out, Porter.
Our door, pushed.
Nice, good job.
Milk.
I'm pretty sure.
Yo, you can go back. Yo, MP1. He's gonna kick. Nice.
Yo, top A. I got terrible timing.
One of you go back to A.
What's up?
Stay B. Neutral. Deplete B if you can. Deplete B if you can.
Our door dead.
Fork cell. Nice, yo, Jacob on him out.
Fork cell dead. Got him.
Nice, good job.
Troping A or B.
I'm camping fork.
Depleting with you.
I bought him out.
Yo, I'm gonna go see Camp A.
Top L weak. Top L. Two jumped out.
Camp A right now.
Camp A. We can't, Porter. We're gonna spawn this.
Alright, well, I'm getting it.
Cap C.
I got one on B. Another one on B.
Go to B, Ender.
I still want C. One shot on C. Fuck.
Fine.
2C.
Another guy B right now.
Get him off.
Right side.
I can't see him.
Underneath. Yep.
Oh, yo, good fucking bad side, man. Let's go.
Good side, boys. That's what I'm talking about.
Let's go.
On B, left corner. All right. Keep this shit up, man.
You guys are fucking frying. Good shit.
Let's go.
Go in the middle of that list. You go to me. This is so impressive.
This is the team that does.
What did you love from Empire?
I mean, you heard it right there towards the end. It was Clay, just like what a bad side we heard, right? Who's getting his teammates fired out? That may be the most impressive bad side half a Hackney I've ever seen, where you're spawning on the C side and what they were able to do. They were able to maintain C and B every single time they had the opportunity to push A. You heard them push A. They're gonna be spawning behind us. They did it. I don't know. It was just so well executed from the Dallas Empire. Yeah, man, I don't really know what else to say besides what a hack.
And I think I heard what I wanted to when I was talking about how Crim and Clay kind of needed to lead the troops to bounce back in this, because yes, you heard like player call-outs from Shotzi, Illy, Hoop, but from Crim and Clay, it was all the, take down the cap, head to A, head here, go here. Like they were literally commanding the troops around the map, and I just thought that was very cool to hear, because it felt like Clay would do it, then Crim would pick it up. Like I loved it. I love that listing. I think that was one of the better ones we've had this year.
And now can they hold on? We know what the Atlanta FaZe can do. I think we saw the stats at the half. Clay had a big half. On the other side, I think Priesta was really struggling, and now you see this AB setup. And guess who can get comfortable and get set up? It's the Dallas Empire, and they have Atlanta FaZe trapped. Yeah, 5-17 from Priesta, 20-10 from Clay.
Is Priesta good? I mean,
it's just Dom can be tough, man. If you don't have control a lot, you're constantly running into a setup. You have to win a few one-on-ones, the stuns, the nades hit. I mean, what we talk about all the time. If you get put into the blender, this could be that map.
And this map just in particular, yeah, when you don't have the preferred side, it is so tough. I think it was a couple of the stats guys were tweeting out stats about that yesterday, where it's just comparing what they do when they spawn C versus what they do when they spawn A. Like, it's just nuts, the difference, because it's so much easier to play from that when you're playing from the tough side the entire time. 7-19. It's a stat line you're more than likely going to see.
See what they can do. Still plenty of time, but with 3 minutes, 47 points is the difference. You're gonna need a 2-cap and a neutral already for a good chunk of time, and I think Dallas know that. So guess what? They're gonna put pressure at C. They're gonna camp A. They're gonna get some kills. They're gonna get on B. They're just getting on all the flags. They're doing it all right now. This is not good for Atlanta FaZe.
No, I mean it's already been not good. Now it's just very, very, very bad for FaZe.
Very bad.
Yeah, this is horrible. I just don't know what you do if you're FaZe right now. You need just a 2 and a neutral. You gotta start to push. They're able to get AB. 2.5 to go. They have AB. FaZe, many would say they're the best team in the world. If someone can pull this off, maybe it is them. And we saw it with the first Subliners. yesterday. No, not Subliners.
Yep.
Was it Subliners?
It was.
Yeah. Versus Subliners, where they had that crazy 60-point swing. They've done some wild stuff, but now they know how important this is. Everybody's flooding forward, but you got to worry about a potential spawn flip when you have this aggression. They're still spawning safe at A, but they've got to win this for the neutral as well. If they're able to get a neutral, this lead starts to deplete very quickly. The question is, can they do it? The guy pushed up mid-map is Major Maniac, that I think is trying to play from a sneaky position near Smokestack to get this done.
You just have to make sure Shotzi can't go and like sneak through, right? Because that's what one player is trying to do. And you see the way Crim's playing it right now. He's playing pretty defensive. I mean, he can. He knows that they need to push for that C flag. So I almost feel like you're almost playing like that hardpoint sneak style, where you're playing a little defensive and you have a guy like Hook or Shotzi just try to get through, maybe pop dead silence and neutral that A flag. We'll see what ends up happening. They gotta go, and they gotta go soon. If you have a 3 cap, it's 36 points per minute. But guess who's playing D? It's Crim once again.
Yeah, not only
they get to
and
A,
the flip.
yeah,
There's the flip as well. That's what's so risky about it. You know, you put all that pressure towards C for the neutral. Not only does Empire get the kills at C, but they also get the flip out towards A, and that more than likely is going to seal the game. I think it's been done for a while, but that'll be the dagger. What a performance from Empire. I mean, it really all just comes down to that first half. That was incredible. It was an amazing listen in to hear the guys talk through the comms. That was sensational. I think you're right. I think that was one of the better performances we've seen from the quote-unquote weak spawn towards C.
That was awesome to watch. I think a lot of teams are going to go back to that and probably copy their play style a little bit. I mean, again, it helps when you're out slaying and someone like Priest is having an off map, but well, yeah, they were just right from the start playing that well.
But it was like you kind of highlighted that early. It was like it's 3 to 4 duels around B in a row, where Empire win the fight and they have a massive number advantage, and they're able to continuously just flood A, flood A, flood A, flood A. It just felt like the opening, what, 2.5 minutes of that game before they got the full-on flip. They just had pressure there, always. Like, FaZe were always having to track back. They'd have to win that fight at home, and once they finally got back towards B, they'd lose the fight and start the process all over again. Like, it just looked so frustrating from FaZe's POV. Just on the back foot from the get-go. Beautiful stuff from Empire, is they'll now take a 2-1 edge by winning both respawns. And they're thinking now, you know what Clay is saying, we should have 3-0'd these guys.
One more
We
map.
should have 3-0'd these guys.
Let's
Let's close this out.
Yeah, one more map, but that's what makes it scary, right? Because now you got to go to a hard point, and you are going to Atlanta FaZe's pick now, which is Petrograd. So just taking a look for the hard point records, Atlanta 4-1. What is their one loss? It was the absolute massacre that you and I watched yesterday against New York. So I think you feel good, but you also know, sheesh, we just played that map yesterday. Let's not make the same mistakes. On the other side for Dallas, 2-2 on St. Petrograd hardpoint. So a good map for both of these teams. But yeah, I mean, I talked to Crowder after it. I was like, I mean, listen, I know your team. You tell us about it all the time. After that, St. Petrograd hardpoint, what was the team like? And it's just like, Stella was, we got smoked. On to the next one. Like, nothing you can do about that. Or you're getting out-rotated and out-slayed every single hill. So I'm sure they will focus up on this one.
Well, just to give you an idea how bad it was, like, what have we talked about so much this year? That there have been so few 100-point clubs compared to previous years. I think part of that is the spawns and the nature of this game, and part of it is just the level of competition we now have in a 12-team league. But I think there's been something like 200-point clubs all year, and they got smoked. Like, they're one of those two, and this is the last time they played that map. So I would think they put some time into this overnight and talked about with the coaching staff on how to improve, but like, yeah, that was one of the worst losses we've seen the whole year.
and it's so weird, I think, too, to see it on that map, because St. Petrograd, what it does, it sets up easy rotations, right? Like, when you're getting a bad spawn, it sets you up for the next hill pretty easily, where you shouldn't be getting 100-point clubbed, right? Like, you should just be able to, you talk about the rotation from Cafe to Hazmat, or from Hazmat to Pool Hall. They're all the way across the map, right? So one team is spawning on the opposite side. That's why it was so impressive yesterday for New York.
But what was your big takeaway from the game one in this series? FaZe at times had the early rotation. Empire broke. So we know Empire's capable of doing it. If they get a couple of those big breaks here, I feel it's even, I don't want to say more lethal than Gunrunner, but yeah, I think you kind of, yeah, you're right in the sense of you really do get set up. It's sort of like a seesaw in a sense, right? You get the early setup for this one, the next team gets the early setup for the next, and it comes down to who can get those crucial breaks. But as much as FaZe, I think this year had probably been the most impressive team at getting breaks just due to their raw slang and talent. If we just look at the map one, it was Empire that won that battle.
Yeah, fundamentally, Empire right now just seems to be on point. When they're getting the setups, they know exactly what they want to do on the map. Everybody's getting those kills, and it's dangerous right now. I know we talk a lot about, Minnesota and how they play the map, but it feels like over the last, about month, Empire has stepped it up significantly.
Well, we know it's the role change, which we've beaten that to death talking about that, but then also the coaching change with Rambo coming in. I don't think you and I know how much of an impact he's had, but I'm sure in some capacity he certainly assisted the team. I mean, if they win this, he'd be 2 for 3 since he joined, so that looks pretty good for his resume. But whatever it is, whether it's Rambo, whether it's the role change, whether it's the vets, whether it's the young guys, it's obviously a combination of all of them. It's working for Empire.
Well, listen, I played with Ray for a very long time, and he always had what he called rules on the map. Like, when this happens, don't do this, basically. Like, don't be in this area. It's like, if we spawn C, don't go to the right side because we have the chance of being spawn trapped. So I think for those younger guys, if you want to talk about his impact, it's probably that. The guy just sort of keeps the game as simple as possible to make sure there's certain things that you do when you spawn up.
Let's get into map 4. Dallas looking to close this out. It's CDL Game Day presented by Game Fuel, and this is your home series final. Either of these teams is going to be the first 2-time champ this year. It'll be their second home series win. FaZe, I'm hoping they get us to a map 5 because I want a map 5 after that game too. That search was just a treat to commentate. I'm sure you guys at home had a pleasure watching it, but FaZe have got to take this hardpoint. Hardpoint has been not great for them this weekend, at least. They lose 2 to Subliners. They drop the map 1 here. It's not been their top mode, that's for sure.
And think about what it was yesterday against New York. I mean, on this map, they started down 50 points, and they lost the rotation already. 22 on the board for the Dallas Empire. Hook's locking down middle of the map. That player that was trying to rotate, he gets taken down. That was a beezy. So you're already in a tough position if you're the Atlanta FaZe. They're going to try to fight for this scrap time, which I really, at this point, don't blame them. They'll get these 15 seconds. As, yeah, a nice rotation from the Dallas Empire. A good start for them.
It's kind of funny how things have kind of come full circle when you think about all we had early was online scrims. 2 top teams that we were discussing were Empire and FaZe. That conversation obviously changed as Empire came out flat and Huntsmen won an event. But now, because of everything going, we're back to this online structure. And who is it that we're going to tout the #1 team? It's FaZe or Empire.
Guys, Dallas Empire getting set up. You don't even have a presence here quite yet. Major Maniac's going to be the first guy by this hotel. Checks the right door. See you later, Krim. He's got another player to deal with. That's Shoxy. The rest of his teammates get taken down. Right now, you're at this point with 30 seconds left. What else do you throw at this? Because you're going to have to rotate all the way to Hazmat. It looks like they're just going to lock this down, but you already have, this 60-point deficit for the Atlanta FaZe.
It's a big lead for Empire. You heard the comms from them in the last map. They were on point. They seem to be on point here as well. But I've got to hear it from FaZe as they try to ramp up this comeback. Let's go to an Astro Gaming listen-in with your Atlanta FaZe.
Oh no, shots he got through.
Kitchen on me.
Up, blue. One shot.
I'm kitchen, one midi, but line. Tunnel right now.
Yes, stay. Backwater.
Nice. Nade over water. Do you have window?
I water. Clay's water. I water. Window, one shot. Two. Shotty. Nice.
One's knife me.
Nice. I went down my window right now.
It's a big thing.
Water.
Window
on me, think. Window on me. And back door. Window and back door. Window shot me.
I need them window.
He's weak in the closet. Two front. There's 3 in. One more. Big one's in hill. Nice. I'm holding you, Tom. Watch up.
Window. Spawn out. They flip, guys. Nice. Good shit.
Good job.
Another little time. Can I get water?
Okay, good shit, Tyler. I'm holding mid. I can't look water. I'm top.
Make sure I'm holding BS&D. You got water?
I
Guys, you guys have my front, right? I don't have your front. I do not have your front.
Chaos inside of hazmat. Inside of pool. What a moment this is for FaZe if they're going to bring it back, Joe.
Yeah, I got a little bit nervous because Dallas did what they did in map 1, where they just, when Atlanta rotates, they made it chaotic. They contested a lot of the time, but it was Abizi who made a huge play, was able to rotate out towards Pool Hall, was able to find Hook in a 1v1, won that gunfight, and they were able to make it a little bit easier on themselves. Now only down 30 points. There's 20 left in Pool Hall. It's a nice comeback from the Atlanta FaZe.
What I find so interesting, though, is like FaZe live in the chaos, right? That controlled chaos is where they thrive. When they struggled against Minnesota Rocker, they kind of slowed it down and reduced the chaos. That has not been Empire's game plan. They're welcoming they're welcoming the chaos. They're going toe-to-toe with FaZe, and this is just something we have not seen this year.
Yeah, not at all. But I think it's because of, I mean, we talked about it before the match. Like, you have Illy, Hook, and Shotzi who could play at the pace of the other 3 players on the Atlanta FaZe. And I don't think there are a lot of teams in the CDL that can do that.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. But they're down 50 now, trying to battle back in a restaurant before this second set of rotation starts. And I think if you're going to bring this back, it starts with this second set. Like, it was sloppy from FaZe. They were down 60 out of the gate, basically. As Empire dominated it early. Through the first and second hard points, FaZe have surely just got to be better. But this league grows and grows for Empires. They get all this time inside a restaurant. It's going to be what? Got 80 point advantage, somewhere in there?
80 points, yeah, 80 points. Yeah, I mean, again, you get into a hill, they get set up, and Atlanta FaZe just can't get in. It's what we've been seeing. It's really what the trend has been. Now can Atlanta FaZe respond with one of their own? Major Maniac trying to work the flank. He's able to find Illy. He's able to find Hook. That's a nice start. So they start to earn this time on this first hill inside of Cargo. One player, though, in Crim, I think, is sneaking around. See that number 2? He's able to find him. That's going to set up the pinch. As soon as he comes through, it's Shotzi who gets on the hill. It's all up to Celium, and Celium goes big.
Yeah, those two were desperately needed. But now with 30 seconds remaining on this, you got to think about the time. You also have to think about next. In Empire, they get in. How much more is FaZe going to throw at this on the cross? I think it's Abizi that got through for a moment, but he's going to get dropped. Clay and Shotzi combined to bring down 4. FaZe will get set up for next as the seesaw continues, but that's a big, 25 points or so for Empire.
Yeah, we're talking about the seesaw back and forth, but that's the thing. It really hasn't been back and forth because Dallas have done such a good job. You think Dallas should have the rotation to hazmat, coming up next. So this Cafe Hill has to be huge for the Atlanta FaZe. They need a response. You need 40 or 50 points here. Major Maniac inside Pool Hall is able to take that down. That's going to be 4 dead as they start to get a little bit aggressive towards middle of the map.
I think they want to push this out. If they can somehow chain these together, how insane it would be. But they still have to hold on at home. Yeah. They still have to hold on at home, and now the contest is in. Empire have gotten in, 4 points away from getting over that 200-point mark and looking to close out this game. 60-point deficit still for FaZe. For the most part, it's been solid here. I know there's been a bit of a contest, but it's a lot of points for FaZe. Now going all the way around that number 8, we'll keep an eye on Priesta and see what he's able to do on the other side of the map. For Empire, it's Illy that gets the first rotation in. So a good hard point for FaZe, but still it feels like so much more work to do when you see the scoreline.
Can they do what Dallas did? Can you contest this? Maybe only give Dallas 20 points here and have a nice rotation to Pool Hall towards that hill number 4, and then from Pool Hall you can sort of tie the game up. Priesta with a nice nade over the top. He's able to break through, and he's gonna flip those spawns. Priesta, we talked about his heroics so many times, did not have a great map 3. He's able to find 3 kills, gets on the hill and flip the spawns. Another great play from him.
That was even better than I think what you wanted. You were talking about contesting the time. They break the spawns nearly instantly as things might be falling apart for Empire. They still have a 40-point advantage. Illy, a wondrous play. 3, nearly 4. Priest the Major Maniac will clutch up, but you're at least contesting if you're Empire with a multi-kill through for Illy. A team kill for FaZe, but they've done a good enough job to give themselves a chance in this game. If they don't get that early break, it's likely done, but they're still battling, desperately clawing to get into a map 5.
was gonna say they found kills on Hook and Crim. So like, you know, when you sort of have those mid-map setups where you can't get across until 40-35 seconds, they don't have that. So they already have some front door presence. You have one person working blue courtyard, so you have a chance here if you're FaZe, but it comes down to this. 4 players to the front, 2 go down. You had a BZ work in the back, and here comes the Atlanta FaZe.
Here's the swarm. What a moment this is. Down 30 as they try to break on in. It's Major Maniac Simp with 2. They get in instantly, but you're still spawning so close if you're Empire. They're going to be able to keep rallying troops into this, but it's another hard point that FaZe get into so quickly, Joe. But Crim, Illy, Shotzzy, Clay, they want nothing to do with it. That's going to be 4 down. 227 to 200. Empire so close to winning this game.
Not win here, though. We're going to go back to restaurant. Still, though, FaZe don't want them to get that scrap time. That's going to put them so close. So that'll put them at 243. But it's going to happen. Can they have a near perfect hold? No, Shotzzy and Hook hit 4. Hook with the 5th, and that could be it, Maven.
Shotzzy and Hook go huge. The contest is there for a second, but it's not enough. It's the Dallas Empire with their 2nd home series win. And man, oh man, they had to go through the teams that have played them all year. They go through Chicago. They go through Atlanta. They get their 2nd victory, and now, in my eyes, cement themselves as the top team in the game.
I mean, Atlanta FaZe, they did what they had to do at Pool Hall. I have no idea what Shotzzy and Hook just pulled off to that rotation. But they get all 5 dead. It's an easy 5 seconds that comes in. Beautifully done from the Dallas Empire. Congrats on your 2nd home series.
When I looked at the minimap at restaurant, my thought was FaZe have a chance. Like they looked set up like
that. It was 4
FaZe have a chance, and then the entire minimap of red arrows just goes away. They all just get depleted off this site. But that was a fun final. I mean, we've had some crazy ones this year when you think of Empire versus Rocker and now Empire versus FaZe. Like there have been a lot of wild finals, but man, that Search and Destroy was incredible. The map 1 was great. The map 4 was solid. Really, the only blowout was the map 3, but even that was a treat to watch because of Empire's comms and how on point they were. But Empire are hitting new levels, man. The first team to get their 2nd home series win. And this has to feel so good for Hastro, Rambo, the entire squad.
I was just rewatching that final hardpoint break, but I mean, Shotzzy and Hook, man. Shotzzy just gets into that little elbow inside a restaurant. 2 players run into him. Then Hook comes through the back door and he finds the rest of them. But yeah, man, that was a crazy break by the Dallas Empire.
Unbelievable. And yeah, to the point that I was kind of making during the course of that, it was just so interesting to see because the last time we saw FaZe lose versus Rocker, it seemed to be such a different playstyle. Like they really slowed the game down, but Empire just go toe to toe with them. As we now take a look at the scuff play of the game, it's going to be the final 15 or so seconds of that map 4. As you said, Shotzzy and Hoop make the play in restaurant to close out the game for the Empire. Joe watched it one more time. Now you'll get to watch it as well. And this is your scuff play of the game.
Yeah, I mean, again, you just have Major Maniac set up behind the bar. You think it's going to look good. What I mean, it's 250 to 240. Like you said, there's a shot. We've seen some amazing holds inside this last hill at restaurant. But Hook and Shotzzy just made that look a little too easy.
And I don't know if that's one of those things where you switch Major Maniac over to the sub, obviously, right before this event. That's one of those, like, supreme finesse positions, kind of, right? Like, it's chaos in there. Like, it is madness around that bar, and I just don't think he was up to the task of dealing with Shotzzy flying in because he just gets ripped off that bar. That was nuts.
I don't know. Like, to me, I think if you're Atlanta FaZe, like, games 1 and 4, you got outslayed, but also it was one of those situations where you had the opportunities. Like, the opportunities were there, and that set of kills that you needed once you've got to that rotation, it just didn't come in. I mean, even looking at that first half of Dom, right? We talked about it time and time again. That second set, we talk about the first set so much because it sets you up. You need a few more kills. You at least need to trade to earn yourself some time, and they just weren't doing that. Yeah, Dallas just took it right to them.
This year has been crazy when you just think about how teams progress, what teams have gotten better, and I just can't give any more respect. Like, it's just so impressive how Empire improved over the year. Like, when you think about Minnesota, the first event, and they came in, they lost to FaZe and Huntsmen, just got blasted on social media, blasted on Reddit, just dominated. But now they've got the online home series win. They've got the LAN home series win. They've beaten FaZe, they've beaten Huntsmen, and they just seem to be getting better and better. And for now, they're the #1 team in the game. Now, will that change in a week or in a couple weeks to the next event? Like, who knows? Like, FaZe and Huntsmen still obviously can take that crown, but enjoy it while it lasts. Empire, you look damn good.
It did, man. And I think it's the way they did it that was so impressive, because we looked at the groups and was like, if they get caught here, that's a little bit scary. They get out of the group. Now we knew today they had to beat both Atlanta and Chicago. And the fact that these were their kryptonites just all year long, you're able to beat both of them in a matter of 4 hours. That's super impressive.
I can't wait to go back and watch that search. Like, I can't wait. Like, that was just crazy. I just want to see. Like, it felt like so many rounds came down to so many ridiculous moments. But man, that was a fun final, Joe, and I love casting with you. Hope everybody at home enjoyed that. We obviously have a ton more home series events to go this year, but the thing we have coming up next, I think he's already been interviewed a couple times so far, but it's Crim6 again. Mr. Comedy, Mr. GOAT, Mr. Home Series second win. It's Crim6 with the interview after this quick break.